Okay guys, I've been thinking about my configuration for the box and I think I've got it worked out in my head for the Active Target 2 portable box. I think I'm going to put my black box here. I'm going to mount it to this cutting board, and this cutting board will be mounted with Velcro to the inside of the case. I'm going to have my battery here. It'll be Velcroed to the bottom of the case. And I'm going to put a 6-gang fuse box here, and that way I can, it's a small fuse box, I'll show you in a second. That way I can run my Ethernet and transducer wire out the side of the box, and it can just lay over the top of the fuse box, and it won't mess with anything. The fuse box will have a cover on it. So here in a few minutes, I'm going to mount my black box to the cutting board, and I'm going to mount my fuse box to this small cutting board. I'm going to operate my black box and my graph on a switch, and that switch is going to be this area of my box. As you can see, I've got the hole marked to cut the 2-gang switch and a voltage meter and 2 USB ports. I guess my big thing right now is I've got a 12 volt 18 amp hour battery, and I'm wondering if that'll be enough to run this and how long it'll run it. If not, I'll probably end up having to get another battery. Here is the fuse box, 6-way fuse box. Got a positive and a negative. Here's a cover. Got it off Amazon. It was relatively cheap. It's not very expensive. Here is the switch I'm going to mount. It's a Nylite 2-gang switch. It's got a USB and a voltmeter. 2 USB ports, and there's the voltmeter there. Got it off Amazon. It's relatively easy to wire up, looks like. But I'll get this stuff, get the holes drilled and get things mounted in the box and get back with you. Okay, I've got my black box mounted on my cutting board. Screws there. On the back of the cutting board, I put heavy duty Velcro. That's supposed to hold 15 pounds. So it's supposed to be heavy duty. I've also got that Velcro glued on the back of that cutting board because I didn't want that Velcro to come loose, and put the other side of the Velcro pieces on the bottom of the case. So the glue is drying, and I'll put that in here in a little bit. Another thing I did is there's a little ground screw on this black box that goes to, I guess I'll ground to the fuse box there in the case. So I put that little screw in so I wouldn't lose it. But we'll let this dry, everything dry here, and I'll come back when it's dry and put it in the box. Okay guys, I worked on the box last night till about 10 o'clock, and actually had the fuse box in right here and plugged up the battery to the fuse box, and the fuse box would not work. I guess it was a bad fuse box. I don't know how that is. It came off Amazon. Got another one ordered. Not gonna be here till Friday, looks like. So I'm not going to get to use this weekend. I was hoping it was going to be set up and be ready to use for this weekend, but it's not. Tonight, I put the switch in. This is a switch, and I went ahead and ran my positive and negative leads just out here. They'll have to be cut to attach to the fuse box. The yellow wake up wire on the active target will go to this middle switch. That will be the sounder. I've got it listed as sounder. And this first switch will be for my graph. It'll be on the fuse box too. And here's what that looks like. They're just rocker panel switches. So I did change the nuts and bolts to put them in. They had wood screws, and I didn't want those screws sticking in the back of that box because there'll be some wires in there, transducer wires and all that. So waiting on through hole connector here. I'm going to run put through hole connectors on this side of the box to run my wires out of. So the box will be somewhat waterproof. It's not going to be fully waterproof, but it'll be waterproof enough. So that's it, and it works. The switch works. I checked it, and let's see if I can get it, get a little juice to it. Let you see it. Works 13.7 volts, reading 13.7 volts. So. Okay guys, back to working on the box. Got a new fuse box. This one works. I checked it before I installed it. Put it back on the little piece of cutting board. I went ahead and attached my negative for my battery, positive from my battery, and I attached my ground from my active target 2. Now I'm going to hook up the switch to the fuse, and then I'll hook up my active target 2 power to the fuse box and the ground of the fuse box, and that little yellow wire I'm going to hook to the middle switch and use it to wake up my active target. That way I can isolate that box, black box, when I'm not using it, and it won't drain my battery. Okay guys, I've got my active target 2 power cord hooked up. You can see I've got black to ground on the fuse box, the positive to positive terminal on the fuse box, and I've got the yellow wire to the second switch here, the middle switch. So that's wake up wire. That's going to serve as the on off switch for the active target. So flip the switch, the green lights come on. So it's wired correctly, looks like. So I cut the switch off. It's probably going to take just a second for the lights to go off. Or it did when I tested them anyway. I think it did that before. It started blinking and then it powers off. There it goes.